a sort of review of very cheap or low-cost headphones. These are $5.50, and the previous ones were for Sentry earbuds that fail basic test of making sure they used identical sound-generating drivers, the little speakers, in each ear. These are the Billboard titanium earbuds with mic, super bass, inline microphone, universal 3.5mm jack, noise isolation. It's the same thing that was said on the other ones. In fact, the plastic packaging is virtually identical because they kind of only can make it one way if they want to make it to where there's any hope of recycling these packages. If you're not aware of it, you can take all the plastics out of this, and in most municipalities you can recycle all of the cardboard, but you have to remove the little RFID thing off of them because that's metal. Anyway, it says digital, which means nothing for an analog set of headphones you plug into an analog feed. It doesn't mean anything. It's stupid. It shouldn't be there. Unless it's using USB as the connector, it's not relevant. So here's what the packaging looks like, if we can get a decent angle on it. It's extremely basic, which is the problem here. This is done and dusted normal old school technology that shouldn't be like this. Just like every tape player you buy these days is made off of a tape player mechanism that's the last one people are selling anymore. So it's always the crappy one for some blasted reason. No one's thought to put out just a slightly better tape player mechanism, or better yet, a tape recorder mechanism. Start with a recorder mechanism that's the size of a Walkman, auto reverse, and you're done. Because that's the bare minimum. Technology has been perfected. It's a mature technology. All tape players should be an auto reverse player, and a recorder circuit should be, the kind of thing you get these days. Because why can't we just have recorders? There's a reason for that. I'll do a video on it if anybody asks. The upper plastic containers holder is identical to the same thing on the other. So I'm assuming all of these, whether they're branded for Billboard or Sentry, or another one was branded as if it was from another company, which I'm not going to name because I honestly don't want to, impugn their reputation. But they're all using the same packaging. These are either knockoffs from a company that are using the word Billboard as a non-brand name, just like the company name Sentry is a brand name, but it's not that. Anyway, does this have anything to do with Billboard Magazine, anything? No, I doubt it. It might even have a disclaimer on it. I'm not looking. Billboard Media LLC. Registered trademarks of Billboard IP Holdings LLC, a limited liability company, not incorporated. ESI Cases and Accessories, One Gateway Center Suite, Newark, New Jersey. That's the packaging. Tech support at a cellular company. Okay, so it passes the mono test. Both of the driver elements are, when I test it across all of the tests you can look up down below, there is no difference between the right and left sound. Okay, next. Stereo effect. You can actually hear stuff that's supposed to go to the right earphone, coming out of the right earphone. There's nothing, which is a bare minimum. That just means that they didn't script the wiring. There isn't any enhancement. If you're not aware of it, there's a weird thing you can do with stereo effect by lifting the ground slightly so that the audio pumps differentially through both of the earphones and not independently through each of them. Make a meme dance. Anyway, where it would put the audio through. So you get a differential effect that's a little more intense. They didn't do that. I mean, I've seen headphones do that before. What you do get out of this, and here's the complaint about it, is it actually sounds like you're hearing something through a really long hunk of tubing that's filled with molasses or something. It just sounds wrong. Now, the reason I'm saying all this is I can't explain to you or show you how it's modifying the signal coming in and turning it into something else. And again, comparing it to these headphones I've had for 2 years where I've had to literally use Scotch tape to put the wiring together, and I've ended up almost crushing this audio driver element trying to get it apart to solder another pair of wires in it because it broke the wires. I keep having to solder and tape this thing together because at least it's decent quality. Both of them are no longer identical sounds. So if they fail the mono test just enough that it annoys me when I do a full-scale test where I'm being really critical. But the sound quality is good. I can listen to music. It doesn't require that I crank it up just to hear some bass or crank it up just to hear some treble. It's got an almost but not completely flat spectrum to it, meaning it's actually giving me what I'm putting into it. I don't have to mess with the graphic equalizer on my computer to fix it. And on these, I can't make them work with a graphic equalizer. That's the thing. If you put it into your computer and your computer is doing something weird with the sound processing, but you have a generic output to headphone or output to speaker thing where you can adjust it to where whatever's being dampened, you can crank it up, and whatever's being overemphasized, you can tone it down a little bit so that you can hear. That's not a big deal. I understand that there are going to be some differences. I can't make it sound okay. It's missing entire sections of the piano range, notes that won't reproduce somehow, like it's notch filtered. Others are ringy, meaning it's just that signal coming out when it gets that note. It doesn't rattle. I'm not hearing what sounds like sand in it. What it is it sounds mushy and distant. And someone might say, well, that's the way it's supposed to sound because it spreads out the sound stage. No, that is literally a lie. It's never been true. Stop. If you have somebody say that to you, just point and laugh and don't talk to them anymore. And if you're involved with them, get a divorce. So, other than that, no, I'm not an extremist. That's the minimum. We should stop making these people happy. They need to be sad. So what was wrong with the previous ones? Again, the Sentry earbuds, they had two either completely different driver elements or they just didn't match them. This one, and in that video, I also explained that when you make these, quality control can match them. Even if they're bad, at least they're matched. This is the second ring of hell for headphones because at least they're matched to each other. They're equally bad. And I mean literally equally bad. Every frequency grouping I could put through them. They're the same with each other, but the volume level changes when it shouldn't be able to as I go up and down the frequencies. And when I play music, it just screws it up. But at least they're not terrible. And for video gameplay, I was able to hear my environment well enough to use the audio cues, the sounds in the environment when I'm playing to figure out, oh, I'm being chased by a bear, or attacked by a wolf, or there's a piglet, or hear a deer running around. In Rust Legacy, which oddly enough, even though it's an old game, 10 years old, actually 11 now, it puts the sound, synthesizes it in the locations you can actually figure out where the sound is coming from. So that's pretty good. Is it worth $5.50? If you don't have any other source of a better set of headphones, it will work. I will keep these as backup so I can at least hear. They're inadequate because the sound quality is not good for music, because it's missing parts of instruments. Parts of them sound very screwed up because they're missing things. When someone hits a guitar, chord, part of the chord is missing, so it's not okay. This isn't being snooty. I'm talking about just the bare minimum, that it doesn't make it to where it sounds like someone's making a remix. It should sound the same as the file should. So, and again, the ones I have taped together and soldered 5 times are still sounding better. These are broken headphones and they sound better. But at least they're not asymmetrical. At least they use the same crap quality earbuds. Next thing, a lot of them now are touting that they're titanium or they're metal or they're blingy or whatever. That's not relevant. The ones that actually work well, have no metal on them at all. They're just plastic. They're extremely, I would think, very, very generic, and they sound good, or did. And here's the question. Does anybody know of a cheap, I want less than a $10 pair, dollar store preferably, set of earbuds that we can all recommend to each other so we can avoid these pieces of junk? So that's going to be the video. I'll use the information from the box to look up a good image for it and squeeze it down so it fits onto a thumbnail, and that'll be a video for the day for this. So that was, again, the Branded as billboard. That doesn't mean anything really. I'm sure it isn't associated. Titanium earbuds with mic. And it got labeled digital. Digital hands-free. Premium hand-free earbud. Inline mic. I'm pretty sure the only thing premium is the fact that literally every microphone, unless this is really screwed up, I didn't test that, anything with a standard electret condenser microphone in this kind of configuration should work as a microphone. I'm pretty sure the quality control here was in the microphone, not in the headphones. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And I don't recommend them, but as a backup pair, if they're handy, buying a pair isn't terrible at $5. But I don't recommend you listen to music. For voice, for a cell phone, which is what it's labeled for, it would work for voice. The 3,000 cycles a second down to 300 is audible-ish. Goodbye.